Today we'll be servicing air conditioning for a 2016 Nissan Maxima. We recently just bought this car from a dealer auction, and we noticed that the AC is not working, so we will be starting that. We will use this Robinair AC machine. I will be going over a few tips if you do not have access to the machine on what will be the best way to use it without this machine as well. So the process of servicing AC is similar, but the locations and there may be some things that are different for your vehicle, but the process is similar. The first thing we want to locate is the low pressure and the high pressure connectors here. This is, so just unplug this and the high pressure one right here. Let's put those aside. And next thing we'll do is we'll connect the AC hoses from the machine. If you do not have access to the AC machine, you may be working with something like this from an automotive store. You can purchase one of these. This always gets connected to the low side, which is this one right there. The only problem with something like this is we highly recommend that the AC lines, we recover and we vacuum the line to make sure there's no problems. So the only problem with using this one is if you do not have access to a vacuum pump, there may be some air in the system that could cause some issues. It will work, but it's not ideal solution. And also we have to make sure there's proper amount of compressor oil, which in the machine case we have regular compressor oil and the one with the dye, and this is the used one that comes out of the compressor when we recover and vacuum. So this is something you can purchase from Walmart, from AutoZone, Advance Auto, but again, it's not ideal. So we're gonna connect the connectors from our AC machine, the blue ones, the low side, and just gonna open the valve. And right here is the high pressure. Now let's look at the gauges to see. Looks like there's no freon at all in the system, because you can see both gauges show 0. So I suspect there may be a leak in the system, which we may have to fix prior to filling up, charging it with freon. First step is to do a recover. In this case, actually, there's nothing in the system, so we really don't need to recover anything. We can simply do vacuum. Actually, let's just do recover just in case. Let's see if there's anything. All right, so next, low pressure. So yeah, it's telling us there's no need to recover, so we're just gonna do vacuum, and we'll turn on the leak test, which is on, and we'll vacuum for 10 minutes. And we'll start right here. So it has been 10 minutes. The vacuum just completed, and as you can see, it's doing a leak test now, which really all it is holding the vacuum for 10 minutes. And what we're really focusing on is the low side gauge. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but if you see where the gauge is right on top of the 0 for 30. So that means there's a good amount of vacuum in there, and if we can hold that for 30, or not 30, sorry, 10 minutes, the machine should tell us that there is no vacuum leak, or there's no leak in the hoses or anything like that. So we'll just give it another 10 minutes and see if it actually holds it. So the leak test just completed. There's no leak according to the machine. As you can see, the vacuum is held for 10 minutes. So for us, the next step is to figure out how much Freon this vehicle is going to need. And mostly on every car there should be a label like this one, similar to this one. It tells you for this vehicle we can see that it needs 1.21 pounds, and also it needs a Freon type 134a. Now some of the newer vehicles require 1234Y, which is much more expensive, but this vehicle requires 134A. All right, let's start charging the system. We're gonna exit the leak test results, and then it tells you how much Freon is currently in the tank. We would like to charge, and it's 0.121 pounds. And also we would like to inject oil. We can do 1 ounce of oil, and then save that, and all we gotta do is hit start at this point, and it should start charging the system. The first thing it does is it's gonna draw the oil automatically from this. So right now it's purging air, but as soon as so it should be drawing oil. It happens really quick, so it already took 1 ounce of compressor oil and already injected it, and as you can see, it started charging the system. Now it's charging using the low side. It's already charged it with almost 1 pound already, as you can see, and it's almost there. We are almost done. So it's a quick process, but it is important to charge the vehicle with the correct amount of Freon. A lot of times when customers charge it with using a can from an automotive store, we don't know exactly how much is going in there or what the pressure is, and if there's any compressor oil in there or not. So the ideal way is to vacuum, recover, vacuum, inject proper amount of compressor oil, and then charge the system with the correct amount of Freon. So here, as you can see, we're almost done, and we're about to test the AC in just a little bit. Okay, so the charge is complete. As you can see, gives you a summary. Charge amount 1.21 pounds, and it gives us instruction how to remove the hoses. But before we do that, we're actually going to go ahead and test the AC. Okay, we're inside the car. Let's start the vehicle. All right, and let's see if you can get the AC going. Let's turn the AC on. Oh wow, I can already feel cooler air coming in. All right, let's blow. Oh yeah, it's definitely much cooler. I mean, the temperature outside today, as you can see on the dash, is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. But I can definitely feel, oh yeah. So we're good, the AC is working. Now one other thing I do want to show you guys about a leak in the the system, because if you remember, there was no Freon in the line in the system. So I suspected that there may be a leak in the system. So one other thing I would like to test, because like I mentioned, there was no Freon in the system, so I suspected there was a leak in the system. So we have this tool that it detects Freon. So let's turn it on, and let's see if any of the connectors valves need replacement or not. So basically all you got to do is take the tip and leave it here. If the voice or the sound of the alarm changes, that means there's a leak. But if it does not, in this case it's looking good. It's not changing at all. Let's try the other one, the high pressure. And no, I mean, everything is looking good. So there's no leak. Now, just to show you what it would do if there was a leak in the system, if I'm gonna just release, this is an empty can, it just has a little bit of Freon in it. So see how it changes. So just, so we can see that this system does not have any leaks. So we're confident that this is a good service, good repair, or good service on the AC. Thank you.